You see this? I hate it. Last week, I made a challenge called the Upright Run Bulk, which is supposed to motivate me so that I can make more gains quickly. The Upright Run is a marathon event that's coming up in about 2 weeks from now. So 3 days into this challenge, I felt a sharp pain in my wrist, and I knew exactly what it was. Every gym bro's worst fear. Injury. I knew how to prevent it, but I still ignored the signs. I still didn't prevent it. And now my challenge is compromised where I can't train certain upper body muscles like my chest because of that pain that I get there. So now I'm injured. So today I'm going to teach you exactly how you can stop getting injured in your fitness so that you can stay consistent and avoid going through all this nonsense that I'm going through. If you don't know me, my name is Shaka, and I've helped hundreds of young men stay consistent in their fitness journey so they can see actual results. I'm helping more young men make real progress using the Consistent Man community, where there is the consistency blueprint, and that is the top link in the description. So join now so that you can have access to this and you can stop skipping your workouts. What exactly is injury and how do you identify it? I would define injury as any pain or discomfort that you're feeling in certain areas that are not usual. You see, as a bodybuilder, the usual pain that you go through or the discomfort would be soreness of your muscles. But when you start getting it in places like in your tendons or your ligaments or in your joints, that's when it becomes a problem. That's when it's an injury. Injuries usually come from overtraining. That's ego lifting, number one. Ego lifting is the first cause of injury. Then the second one is lack of proper conditioning. If you're not stretching enough, if you're not stretching before your workouts or after your workouts, then you get injured. I promise you. Look, if you want an injury for free, do this. Do all these things I'm talking about. Ego lifting and lack of conditioning. Those two things, you get your injury guaranteed. Promise you. What else causes injury? Let me think. I think poor recovery as well. So we'll put poor recovery there. Poor recovery would cause injury in the sense that when you recover slowly and you're training very, very hard, there is a way that your body will not be able to handle that. Your joints, your ligaments, your tendons, if you're not getting in enough rest or you're not eating the right food, if you're not recovering properly, then it will end up getting a hit. That's when you get injury. That's when you get injured. So those three things, I think, are the main causes of injury in a normal young man's fitness journey. So that's how you can identify it. You can identify it by, you see, like the normal pain would be in the muscles. Like, yeah, some soreness that goes away for a couple of days, but injury, injury stays for a couple of like weeks and even months, depending on how severe the injury is. So you see this injury right here? I hate it, man. I've told you already, I hate it so much. The reason why I hate it is because I can't do push-ups. Brother, if I do anything like this, it's painful. It's very, very painful. That's why I'm wearing this kind of like brace, just to keep me aware. Of course, it's not doing much, like it's not helping so much, but it keeps me aware of the pain that I have there and telling me not to actually. It makes my brain tell me not to push so hard or to do any pushing workouts that push my wrist backwards like this. So I have to be careful of that. Now, the reason why I got this, I remember I'd set the challenge, right? The Upright Run Bulk that I was telling you about. And I started on it and I started training so hard. Let me be honest with you. This gym that I usually go to, it's not really a gym. You've seen it before. It's a nursery school gym. Now there is the person who looks after the place, the Askari. His name is Derek. Derek looks after the place and he also has a couple of weights there. Now, Derek got work. Yeah, he got busy, basically. He needed to earn a living. And it was the holidays of the school that he's caretaking. So this means that he was not always there every day. So he would be there a couple of days and a couple of hours, and it was so random. But for me, I'm very consistent with my fitness. A lot of people have used this as an excuse to fall off, but for me, I'm very consistent with my fitness. was like, I have to go. I must go. So I show up to the gym. Sometimes I find him, sometimes I don't find him. And because of this, whenever I would find him, I would train so hard. I would train every single muscle group that requires dumbbells, barbells. For example, the biceps, okay, not much of the triceps, the biceps, the back, the traps as well, shoulders. Those muscle groups require dumbbells. So that's the only time that I had access to the dumbbells. This was about a week ago even. It wasn't that long ago. A week, 2 weeks ago. And having no access to these dumbbells, whenever I wouldn't have access to them, I would go out and train on the road, literally on the road. You guys don't understand how I'm built. Maybe right now you don't have that confidence, but for me, I'm building my social skills, so I'm not really afraid to train on the road, on the side of the road or something. It's not so scary for me at this point of my journey. Maybe it is for you. What I would say is, please check yourself. Do you have a pair of balls? You have a pair of balls, right? Use them. Be a man. Be comfortable. Own every single environment that you step into. It should be yours. You should be thinking that way. At least if you don't believe it, just brainwash yourself to think like that. So that's what helps me stay consistent, by the way. Training outside. I made a video about that. Yeah, up there. Watch that video and you'll learn how you can start training outside so you can stay more consistent in your fitness. And because of the training, we were talking about the Derek's gym. Because I couldn't see him so much, I would train so much whenever I see him with the dumbbells. And then after that, when he would be leaving to go and do some work or go and have some dinner or something, and he's locking up the place, I'll go outside and I'll train on the road. And why would I train on the road? Triceps, squats, I'll do like my legs, my arms, a bit of my arms, sometimes chest, shoulders, whatever you can do using body weight. So you see, I was mixing calisthenics, bodybuilding, like calisthenics, weightlifting, and body weight workouts. All three of them for a couple of days. And I was going so crazy on them. I was hitting every single muscle. Of course, my priority muscles have been shoulders, arms, and legs. I've talked about this before. That's been my priority muscles for this challenge. But I was hitting them and more. And some. I was even hitting the neck. Crazy. So all this overtraining led to fatigue. I started to feel a bit sick and weak. And after that, I felt that pain. It was that pain. And I know that it was that pain because that previous day, from the day that I felt that pain, the previous day, I was in the gym and this guy said he was leaving. So I was like, no time to stretch. It's okay. The muscles will understand. The joints will understand. But that was a big mistake that I made. Huge mistake that I made. The next day, I was ripping exactly what I sowed. I sowed no stretching and I ripped injury. Horrible, horrible. And now, ever since then, which was about a week ago, now for a week, I'm still feeling the pain. And I know it's going to possibly go throughout the whole challenge. Hopefully not. But what's training chest for me? I don't like my chest muscles so much. I'm not so interested in building a chest. I'm more interested I'm more interested in building my arms, shoulders, and legs. So those muscle groups usually don't require so much wrist motion. So I'm okay with that. And I'm using light weights now, which is very, very good discipline because the easy thing is just to swing around heavy weights. Light weights is discipline because you're now watching your form. You're increasing the time under tension. These are things that you should be learning. If you don't know about this, go and watch some YouTube videos about how to improve your form in the gym. Time under tension, eccentrics, where you lower the movement slowly. Like if I'm training my biceps, it would be something like this. You see what I mean? You see that movement? Professional. Don't play with me. Professional. Go and look it up. Go and look for eccentric movements for every single muscle. Make sure that you know them. And that is exactly how I got this injury, which I hate so much. By the way, I remember my homeboy was doing muscle ups. This guy was doing muscle ups. We all tried muscle ups, But for him, he ended up doing them because he had put in the more reps than the rest of us. And this guy, the next day, injury, wrist injury. I think it's like the same thing that I'm going through now. He didn't stretch before those muscle ups. He didn't stretch after. He didn't even prepare for them. He just went and did them. And he's had that injury up to now. I spoke to him yesterday, literally yesterday. He told me, man, I still have that injury there, so I still have to go light. What? This was about, the muscle ups was 2 months ago. I'm not even lying to you. Injury is disgusting. It's horrible. Then there was also a time, like 3 months ago, I had a knee injury. My knees were injured. Can you imagine having a knee injury? We've had all these excuses from fat people. Yo, man, my knees, I have bad knees. Bad knees is an excuse that fat people give for their laziness. But anyways, having bad knees, having knee injuries is so uncomfortable and it's so disgusting. And it's not really for athletes. What I did was I was trying to hit quads more because I noticed that quads are the muscle in the legs that every man needs to grow. And I was trying to hit them more. So I looked up online, squat variations for quads. You know what I mean? Looking for types of squats that can actually hit the quads more. And I saw something called sissy squats. And that there was also weighted sissy squats. It was kind of like squats, but then you put your knees have to move forward. So it's squats, but with an elevation under your heel that forces your knees to move forward. I'll put a diagram of it up here. These are the elevated sissy squats, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what they're called, but elevated squats, that's what I'll call them. Those are crazy effective for your quads because when you push your knees forward, you force activation of your quads. It's the muscle that is used the most when your knees move forward, basically. So I tried this without stretching. It's always stretching. I'm telling you, stretching, let me tell you, you can click off the video right now. You're done watching. Just stretch. I did it without stretching. The next day, I learned. I reaped what I sowed. I sowed no stretching. And what did I reap? Injury. It was nasty. My knee, mostly. It was mostly, I think, the right knee. And right knee was so disgusting. It felt horrible, man. Felt so bad for a couple of weeks. And I couldn't train my legs. Now imagine this. You're a gym guy, tall. Maybe you're not tall. That's why I said imagine. You're a gym guy, you're tall. That means automatically you start with 0 legs, 0 on the legs. Now you have to train your legs even harder than the average man. But now you're getting injured on your legs, so it's preventing you from training them harder than the average man. So now I'm going to give you a couple of actionables. Actionables. I love my actionables. I cannot end a video. I cannot even make a video without giving you practical steps. Follow these steps. This is how you're going to prevent injury in your fitness journey so that you can stop giving that excuse. Bro, my wrist is hurting. Look, this is an excuse. This is an excuse. My competition's not injured. My competition's taking the right kind of food, the right kind of everything. He's doing what it takes not to get injured. And here I am. Can't train my chest. No. It's just an excuse. So I'm going to teach you exactly how to prevent injury in your fitness journey. The first action step that you should take is to stretch before and after every single exercise. I want you to do this. Intentionally treat stretching like it's another exercise of its own. What do I mean by this? I want you to start stretching as a routine. Whenever you're going to do an exercise, let me give you an example. Whenever you're going to, sorry, I just drank a lot of water. By the way, stay hydrated, kings. Whenever you're going to do an exercise, I want you to make it a ritual that before I do any single muscle group, any exercise, I don't want to do any single workout without stretching. Stretching is a must. If you miss stretching, that's how you get injured. Trust me, the days in my life when I didn't stretch, as I've told you already, I was always getting injured. I was injured because of this, because I didn't stretch. I was injured. This was injured because I didn't stretch. I was injured. Am I rapping, bro? chill. I was injured because I didn't stretch. So stretch before and after every workout. I want you to start dedicating 2 to 3 minutes to actual stretching. Now, what kind of stretching must you be doing? I want you to do dynamic stretches, not static stretching. Now, dynamic versus static stretching. What does this mean? Dynamic stretches are the stretches, for example, dynamic stretches include things that where you move. They're the stretches where you move, right? Let me give you an example. When you stretch your neck, you stretch it like this, right? That's a dynamic stretch. The static stretches, on the other hand, static stretches are things like yoga poses. You've seen what the baddies be doing, you know what I'm saying? They be putting their hands out. It's too goofy. And then there's the dynamic stretches, like there's also this one for the shoulders that I like to do. You see this one? Very good. Very, very good for the shoulders. All those moving stretches are dynamic stretches. The ones where you are in one place, that's the static stretches. So I want you to do dynamic stretches, not static stretches. Before every single workout, make it a routine. Make it an exercise of itself. Spend 2 to 3 minutes doing it. I promise you, if you do this, oh my God, this is number one thing. That's the number one thing. I could just end the video. I could end the video right now. If you're not stretching enough, what are you doing? But I went down this rabbit hole where I was even doing yoga stretching. Those days I didn't know about dynamic and static stretching. I was like, I want to avoid injury, and I saw stretching is good. And I started doing yoga, but I still got injured. It's so stupid. I got injured, so I needed to do dynamic stretches. So it's very, very important that you do stretches where you don't stay in one place. The second actionable that I had to give you before I left here is you must listen to your body and rest accordingly. What do I mean by this? I want you to stop lifting when you're injured. Oh my God, why is this a big deal? Why does this always have to be something that we have to talk about? Why are there gym people who feel pain and they're like, man, no pain, no gain? What the? No, you're using it the complete wrong way. You're using it the wrong way. No pain, no gain means no pain in the right way. No gain in the right way. You know what I mean? It's not no pain. It's not putting pain on yourself that is very, very pain. That's very uncomfortable and pain that can actually injure you. It's very stupid. That's very stupid. If you start to feel any pain, I want you to rest accordingly. I want you to make sure that you rest. Take a rest. If it's in your wrist, rest your wrist. Stop doing pushing workouts or pulling workouts. Anything that makes your wrist hard, you stop. As you can see, I've stopped doing chest because the chest, anything that I like, any push-ups, the push workouts that I do, they all mess up my wrist. So I stopped doing that. I started resting accordingly. And trust me, in about 2 weeks, I've told you, 2 weeks max, this is going to be gone. After the accurate run, it's going to be gone. So make sure that you're listening to your body. I want you to listen to your body. There's a gym culture that calls it training with your instincts. You've heard about that? Where people just listen to their body. Whichever muscle is feeling ready, you train it. Whichever one is sore, you rest. Whichever one's injured, you rest. Whichever one's ready, you know what I mean? That's training with your instinct. That also comes down to listening to your body. Make sure that you're listening to your body actively. If you don't have that ability to listen to your body, start being more mindful and present. You know what I'm going to talk about? Meditation. Listen to your body. Use meditation. Meditation is going to help you listen to your body so that you can stop making those stupid decisions like training when you're sick or training when you're injured. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. Lastly, I want you to make research on how you can recover faster as an athlete. By now, you're calling yourself an athlete, right? You're not that kind of person who has that low self-image. And you just call yourself, I'm just a guy who goes to the gym. I'm not a gym guy. You've had that humble bragging. You're not humble for saying that. You're an athlete. That's what you are. If you need an update to your self-image, I made a video about this. Go watch it. There's a self-image video. Boop. Yeah, we'll put it up there. Go watch that self-image video so that you can update your self-image into being the kind of person who actually makes progress rather than the person who makes excuses and doesn't see any progress. So by now, you're treating yourself like an athlete. That means that an athlete, what does an athlete do? An athlete knows how to recover, because recovery is very important as an athlete. How does he know how to recover? How does he find out about this knowledge? What does an athlete do? Just based on my own understanding of an athlete, because I consider myself an athlete as well. An athlete would go on YouTube. He would search for things like, how can I improve my sleep? He would improve his sleep using a couple of YouTube videos. He would also search for things like protein intake. Now, these are topics that are very, 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 very important for your recovery. Sleep, number one. Having better sleep, having more sleep will help you recover faster so that you prevent injury. Then also the protein intake, the amount of protein that you take in will also help you recover faster, because you see, for you to build a muscle, what does this mean? When you're building muscle, the protein that you eat goes to that muscle, at least protein synthesis. This is where your body consumes the protein to make protein. It uses your protein, the protein that you've eaten, to make protein for yourself. And by protein, I'm talking about the muscles. I'm sure they're made of protein or something. I'm sure everything on the whole body is protein, anything fleshy. So protein synthesis, that's when your body breaks down protein to make protein. It's building protein. That's why it's synthesis. Yeah. So make sure that you look this stuff up. This is going to help you. That is basically recovery and also building your muscles. When your muscles grow, that's the muscle recovering using protein to make protein. Bro, I don't have to go down the whole rabbit hole. I could explain this like for about 20 minutes straight. But that's not what the video is about. The video is about injury. So make sure that you look up these topics. I want you to do this. This is your own homework. This is action steps. These are action steps. Go on YouTube. After you're done watching this video, go and learn how you can recover faster as an athlete. That's who you are now. Make sure that you work on your recovery. So these three things are so important. Stretch before and after your workouts. Make sure that you treat it like an exercise of itself. Do it for 2 to 3 minutes and make sure that they are dynamic stretches. And the second is the listening to your body and making sure that you rest whenever you feel a bit of something. Make sure that you rest that muscle group. You rest according to whichever muscle group is feeling something, or whichever joint is hurting or something like that. Make sure that you don't lift when you have injuries. No lifting. Take a rest. Helps you recover faster. You'll be back in the game. Lifting when you have injuries actually makes your injury worse and makes that injury prolonged. My friend, you don't want to have an injury that lasts for months. When you don't, oh my God. Make sure that you stop lifting when you're injured, bro. I don't know how to stress this much more. You need to stop lifting when you're injured. And the third thing that we talked about is for you to make research on your sleep and protein intake. I have a bonus one. Bonus. I have a bonus right there. Big bonus. Look up form videos. Look up form videos. What do I mean by look up form videos? I want you to start watching videos of people doing different exercise forms. When you have terrible form, you're more likely to get into injury. Like we talked about, ego lifting is a big cause of injuries. But also poor form that comes from ego lifting is a huge cause of injury. Because if you're doing a muscle group in a stupid way, you're doing biceps and you're doing it like this. Bro, are you Brazilian? You're having too much fun. You're supposed to do it, perfectly with the right kind of form. But when you're doing it like that, that's how you get injured, because you're incorporating other muscle groups that are not supposed to be working. So make sure that you're using the right form. I want you to start looking up form videos. Look for videos. Search for, if you're about to do squats, look for best squats or like best squats form, or just search for squats. Watch those videos. See how those guys do it. Improve your form. Right now, you might think you have perfect form in your workouts, but trust me, about a month from now, you look back at your workout videos, because I hope you're taking videos, and you'll be like, bro, what the hell was I doing? This was trash form, horrible form. Your form has to improve as you gradually increase, the amount of muscle that you make. And for you to actually make that muscle, you need to have better form. Improve your form. Improve your form is going to help you prevent injuries, and you overall stay consistent in your fitness journey, and you'll not need to watch me anymore. If you're really struggling with injury, or you're just struggling with staying consistent in your fitness journey, you keep skipping your workouts and it's making you not see much progress, join the Consistent Man community that I made just a few weeks ago. Join it, where there's the consistency blueprint that's going to help you avoid skipping workouts for good. I put it inside of there. It's a course, to make sure that you access it right now. Join, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you actually got some value from the video, subscribe so that you can watch more videos, and watch that video that I uploaded just a few days ago. And peace.